Hello, folks. I am back. And before I get to the review, I want to thank everybody for responding to my previous video. I know that some people thought I was a little bit whining or crying, but uh, I appreciate everybody's responses, their advice on how to pick up these SIG P320 FCUs. And the only point I was trying to make in that video was basically I wanted these available in my area. And also, the other point I was making is, especially for the new people, I just did not want them to fall in the trap of anybody that's trying to scam them. So, thanks for your responses. And now let me get back with this review. Okay, today was the first day that I've shot the Springfield Armory Vickers Elite Tactical Masterclass 1911. Yes, mouthful. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I really, really enjoyed this firearm. One thing I should have done is tighten up on my skills a little bit. I got a little bit, let's say, a little bit cocky with this and didn't apply the proper grip holding and that I should have done, but I caught myself later on what I was doing wrong. All right, let me show clear just to make sure that the YouTube gods are happy. And here you go, empty magazine, empty well, magazine is empty, and here we go. Okay, I'm going to tell you that this firearm is a very enjoyable firearm to shoot. You For me, I've been shooting 1911s and 45 ACP for quite some time, and this firearm absorbs a lot of the recoil, so it didn't even feel like I was shooting a 45 ACP firearm at this point. Like I said, some of the aesthetics are really great here. For those of you who didn't see the previous video, here are the G10 grips with Larry Vickers logo on it. There's the front grips here that are really nice. I don't know uh, what Springfield Armory calls this, but at least they did not call it the Octo grip or the grip zone. And like I said, it's a really, really nice pattern. The overhand here, the serrations, the grip serrations here are really nice. And also, the trigger was really good. It was a really crisp, clean break. At first, I thought there was going to be a little bit of a lot of take up on this. So as you pull, it just releases. It's just really a nice trigger. A lot of times you will buy a 1911 and sometimes you'll get a really heavy pull. Like one of the firearms I could think of is probably the 6 Hour Spartan 2. That trigger pull is probably the worst of trigger pull that I have in all my 1911 collections. So this is a very good trigger pull. I want to say it's somewhere around a 4 to 5 pound pull. Um, I didn't measure this on a scale, but the pull is not that hard to deal with where you are pulling the trigger and you feel like it's too heavy for the firearm. One of the other things is it is very smooth. It's a tight firearm. I did lube it before I fired it, and it seemed to be running like a sewing machine. There were no malfunctions in any of these magazines. Now, mind you, that these are both Wilson Combat magazines. Uh, this is basically from the standard magazine. So these are Wilson Combats. This was one that I bought separate, and I've used this one a lot in various 1911s I've owned. So this magazine is flawless. There, like I said, no malfunctions, nothing to complain about. One of the things that I had to get used to was looking at this front sight right here, looking at the front sight and lining it up. Now, if you look at the manual to most of Springfield Armory's how to line your sight picture, it's either a slight 6 o'clock hold or it's going to be point of aim. And a lot of times, what I do with 1911s is I usually aim higher than what I should, just to see if there's either me like if I'm raising the sight too high. Let me show you on a target what I'm talking about. Uh, Now, these were the very first few shots. Now, usually what I like to do is I like to aim a little bit. My sight picture covers this entire dot portion. And when I did that, these were the shots that came up first. Those first 6 shots right here, I was aiming a bit high. Once I lowered it evenly, the shots came basically right on target. Now I tried a little bit of a 6 o'clock hold right here. That were these shots right here. By the way, this was roughly about 7 yards because I wanted to see where my sight picture was going to be. And some of the stupid things that I did that I got to keep in mind of is when I'm shooting, I need to keep a constant grip, and also not only have a constant grip, and lock. I need to lock that wrist out. So sometimes I can get a little lazy. That's why I have to keep practicing over and over. So when I don't lock my wrist, usually my shots are going to go for left and low, or if I don't have the proper grip, they're going to become lower. And that, like I said, that was around 7 yards. I decided to move my target out to 10 yards. Now, moving it out to 10 yards, again, I was experimenting with the low, pretty much at 6 o'clock hold, and of course here. And then I just said I might as well just stay at point of aim where I should. If I sped up, I got these shots here, and that's a grip problem right there, and this is a grip problem right here. So speeding up, I was getting my shots a little bit further out. Usually, if I'm doing something when it comes to speed, I like to do a 3-shot burst, but this was just pretty much a moderate pace. Now I'm going to show you. This is going to be at 10 yards. 10 yards, I'm trying to get this focused in like I want to. 2 shots off. I'm concentrating a little more, trying to avoid hitting too high. All these shots are coming in where I want it to be. I have pretty much no complaints. But on this last target, I decided to push this one about anywhere between, I'd say 10 and 15 yards. So the next, let me see if I can find that target. All right, the last target here. This is anywhere between, I would say, 10 and 15 yards, or not 10 and 15. I'm going to say roughly about 13 to 15 yards. Now, my problem, what I was trying to do was speed up, see how far I can shoot this, and also to keep a moderate pace. So the pace that I was doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was in that speed that I was shooting. See if I could stay on target. And of course, you're going to see my errors right here. You want to see these were, I believe this is one shot there, one shot here. And here I start losing control. So I lost control and my shots are coming off on the side. This is also a wrist grip problem right here. So I wind up turning my shots out. So I was not so much pleased, but I was glad that I was able to keep it somewhat centered. And like I said, we're at that distance. And normally I only shoot between 7 and 10 yards anyway, because I believe that's normal combat range. But I was just trying to push it out, and I want to push it out even further, maybe go to 15 to 25 yards. But of course, I'm not going to get those groups as tight as I want them to be. They're going to be, and I'm going to do this at the same pace, but and to see how that would turn out. That's going to be in a future video, hopefully soon. But all in all, this firearm is very, very, very good. I pretty much don't know what else to say about it. It is a really, really good shooter. I'm very impressed with it, very happy with it. And what I'll do in the future is probably compare this with my Dan Wesson Specialist. And because what I'm planning to do for probably the rest of the year, I'm going to take both of these firearms out and shoot those two extensively. And let's say my 1911s, I'm going to shoot those two extensively, and kind of give you a long range report of what I like about both of them, what the differences are between the two. But I think this is a really this is a big winner right here. I'm very impressed with it. Uh, what else can I say? I'm going to just probably close this video out because there's nothing much to say about this. But this is a really good firearm. I'm very impressed with it. The sight picture, like I said, once you get your sight picture down, like you should, once you have your wrist locked out, the gun is better than you are. So with that said, happy shooting, stay safe, hashtag 2A.